Well, why is the question Wizards must be having. Why are people flocking to reserve lists rather than new product like call time? Well, there's a lot of factors that really play into it, and I was thinking about it as I was filming a video earlier today, recording a video of Pokemon versus Magic when I was checking out the pre-order prices, and Pokemon happened to be all sold out, and the Magic the Gathering sets were all still for pre-orders ready. So when I thought about that, along with a lot of the market mover videos that I do where I talk about mostly reserve list buyouts, but usually there obviously are other cards on the list there that are a surprise, but usually when a new set comes out, there's a lot of hype for the cards in the set because people want to pair them with other cards that they see. They see nice combo pieces, maybe they see new commanders, but to be honest, without competitive play, the speculation is really all just going to be speculation, right? Like, you want to be able to play test cards efficiently, and the best way to do that is playing face to face. Now, one of the reasons why people are flocking to reserve list is the reprints. Now, the reprints are getting out of hand. Especially, it was okay when we had a lot of competitive play because the secondary market, there was enough turnaround for players to get in and out of cards and buy into different formats. But now that's mostly everything is played on MTG Arena, and they don't have any real tournaments. That's going to really piss people off. Number two, bannings. So there's a lot of uncertainty, especially when there's a hype for a card, especially when the card gets banned. It was the hype card of the set, like Oko. Now, when Wizards of the Coast doesn't even know the power of the cards that they're producing, and it leads ultimately to a ban, there's a lot of mistrust in Wizards of the Coast to do their job effectively. So when you have cards like that get banned and people buying into those, remember it was almost like $70 for a Mythic Oko at the height. Okay, so if you bought a playset of Okos, the ban, you would have lost over 60% of your value almost instantly. Now, every Magic player is on a different financial spectrum, right? There's going to be some wealthier players and some players that are still like students in college that are in debt, have a bunch of student loans to pay off. But, maybe they thought, I love the game. Oko seems like the price isn't going anywhere. Standard's powerful. I'll buy my playset of Okos, and then next thing you know, boom, ban, mistrust, right? Like, you're going to be really upset with their policies on banning. Now, third is the collectability. Now, Wizards of the Coast has the playing card aspect of it is kind of fell on the wayside, while the collectability is what they're trying to sell. I mean, they even have a thing called Collector's Booster Box. Now, if you're not trying to sell your product as a collectible, why would you even have that as a name, right? So obviously, they want to sell their product more as a collectible. Now, they're not doing a good job at that because reprints, right? So that's one of the factors. Another is, it's like there's a cyclical cycle, right? Like, a player gets in a standard, they buy, usually those cards rotate out, and most of them lose almost all their value. Now, when you have those eternal formats like Modern and Legacy, if a card's good enough, usually they would make their way into that format. That was like the best cards of the set. Now you can't even bet on those cards because of banning and the excessive amount of reprints and no tournament play. That's not even a viable option. So what they're doing is with the collector boxes and different showcase frames and extended borders and expeditions, there's so many variations of a certain card that people don't know which one to buy. People like back in the olden days where it was like you had that one card and there wasn't even foils, really, back in the olden days of Magic the Gathering. That was like, there was a collectability to it there because there was a scarcity because the game just came out and there wasn't a lot of reprints. And then eventually they even had a reserve list. They got together and they made the reserve list on purpose to protect the collectors. Now, what can they do moving forward? Modern has been absolutely annihilated. It used to be the best-selling cards on the secondary market were Modern cards. It was the best competitive tournaments were Modern. I loved watching the game coverage, and I had like over 12 Modern decks. I dismantled half of them recently and sold and traded the rest for reserve list cards because I was fed up with seeing all my best decks either from bannings or just the price just on the downs, so on a very bearish trajectory, month after month after month. I was just sick of it. If I can't play my competitive decks, why do I have them? Obviously, if they want to go for more of the collectible route, and commander players, they like their bling, so they keep making more and more collector showcase style cards to sell that collectability to the player. Now, a lot of people they don't want that, right? A lot of people, they just want to be able to play their cards and know that they're going to be worth value because they're not just going to get reprinted into oblivion or have another variations of it throughout years and years in the future. They're just going to keep reprinting them. So a lot of this has to do with the reserve lists. Buyouts have to do with these ultimate factors that I just named. So those three for sure. And then another one is the fact that there's no coverage anymore of the actual, like we have MTG Arena coverage. That's okay for MTG Arena. But what about the paper Magic players? Where's the coverage that they need? Where's the coverage they want to see? Some of my favorite experiences from the game was watching some of these GPs and the Channel Fireball's coverage of them. I loved it. I loved the speculating. I love the commentary. I just loved the gameplay. It felt like I was with my friends playing at my local game store. My laundry's done. So when you get rid of that component to it, and you have MTG Arena, that's good from the digital standpoint, but from the player, like the cardboard player standpoint, that's terrible. So all of these components are the reasons I believe that the reserve list buyouts are happening, and there was a craze in 2018 with reserve list buyouts, and I think at that time the reason why it went down was there's a lot of economic uncertainty. That's another reason why, is the fact that we're in unprecedented times economically. I mean, look what's happening with Wall Street bets. We defeating hedge funds because of Reddit message boards. We are in a time that people are out of work, they're getting stimulus checks, and they want a safe, or at least a way to grow their money. And people look at the reserve list as potential, right? If you can't grow it in the bank, maybe you're going to throw it in stonks, or maybe you're going to throw it in collectibles like the reserve list. And that's another reason why. I have friends who are asking me about Magic the Gathering cards and if they should be investing in any cards. And that's when you're like, whoa, okay, well now you guys don't even play the game and you're asking me for advice about cards. That's a bit scary, but I remember there was a little craze like that with Pokemon. A lot of people had no idea. They didn't watch the show, they didn't play the game, but they just knew, oh, 90s collectible Pokemon, I want to buy into that. And that obviously caused the bubble as well. But if you look at the two products over time, Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, at least at this moment in time, it looks like Pokemon is going to be the more collectible asset in the future. So, reserve list buyouts, they look like they're a trend from here until Magic the Gathering sorts their stuff out, until Wizards of the Coast starts making better policies when it comes to reprints. People just aren't going to feel safe buying new product right now. They're just not. So, and they really need to fix that soon. Anyways, I guess I'll see you on Monday for Market Movers. All right.